We reveal how some fraudsters are still benefiting from their crimes even after being charged and convicted.
And new reports claiming Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has deep ties to people who personally profited from the alleged fraud. That list includes one of her former campaign officials and a co-owner of the restaurant where Omar held her 2018 congressional victory party.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, my people. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, the fallout from the Feeding Our Future Minneapolis, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota crazy fraud scandals continues with your boy, Tim Walz, the governor of that state. And he's in some serious hot water, y'all. A lot of people are saying, how is this guy almost the vice president of the United States? So funny, like his new title, his title is simultaneously governor of Minnesota and also almost vice president. And now there are investigations into him on a national level, investigations into his administration as to how they allowed $1 billion or more to be literally stolen from their state. And also there's renewed interest in the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, who was caught on tape saying that he was going to help the fraudsters. Now, in his own defense, he says, yeah, I said that, but I didn't know that they were fraudsters at the time. And also, we're going to take a look today at how many of the fraudsters bought nice, lavish homes, you know, even one with a basketball court inside, y'all. How would you like to play basketball inside your own home? Yeah, so they bought these lavish homes, and some of them still own the homes, y'all. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and jump into it. But before we do, y'all, we are launching our official Patreon. So if you want to be a founding member on our Patreon, we have just 222 slots, y'all. If you want to be a founding member, go down, click the very first link in the description, and you're gonna feel good about this, y'all, because believe it or not, we are an actual paralegal school, and we help people get their paralegal certificate and get working in the paralegal field. And all of the proceeds from our Patreon, when you enroll as a founding member, all of that is gonna go to scholarships for people who would like to study at our institute, y'all. So click that first link down in the description. Join us as a founding member, y'all. This deal will not come back. Now let's get into the story.
5 Investigates is tracking your stolen tax dollars. And tonight we reveal how some fraudsters are still benefiting from their crimes even after being charged and convicted.
Investigative reporter Eric Rasmussen has been following the Feeding Our Future fraud for nearly 4 years. And he's here with what's standing in the way of getting your money back.
Well, we do know a lot of the $250 million stolen from taxpayers is tied up in property and other things. Federal prosecutors say they're seizing it, but at least in some high-profile cases, viewers told us that still has not happened. So we went to check it out. All right, here I go. From this 5-bed, 4.5 bath in Washington County to $1 million house in Plymouth, complete with an indoor basketball court. My name is Eric Rasmussen. I'm a reporter with KSTP. Another right off this county road in Burnsville. Do you know if the government is trying to take this house? No. They're not? We had to see these properties for ourselves. Each house owned by people convicted of fraud, connected to Feeding Our Future. $250 million meant to help kids in need, stolen at the height of the pandemic.
We've property all over the state, in different parts of the country.
But long after prosecutors filed paperwork to seize properties purchased with stolen taxpayer dollars, neighbors told 5 Investigates that still has not happened. Is it fair for the public to want answers about what's being done?
Absolutely. It's our money.
Mark Osler is a professor at the St. Thomas Law School and a former federal prosecutor.
This is something in criminal law that too often gets forgotten, the money side of it. You know, we pay attention to the body when someone walks into court, when they're taken away to prison. But the harm is often in the money.
Take former Safari restaurant owner Salim Saeed. 5 guilty verdicts now. A jury convicted him and Feeding Our Future founder Amy Bach nearly 9 months ago. But we found Saeed and his wife are still the official owners of this $1.1 million house in Plymouth. Fraud money funded their $952,000 down payment in 2021, and county records show they've racked up more than $50,000 in delinquent property taxes since then. No one responded to the note I left, but a week later we did see someone leaving in a Cadillac. Prosecutors say they have to wait for Salim Saeed to be sentenced before they can take the property, but that doesn't explain this one. Records show the owner of this house in Willerny is Jonathan Ross, the husband of Sharon Ross.
We want to keep that program going.
The former director of House of Refuge Twin Cities was sentenced to prison in February for her role in the Feeding Our Future fraud. That should have cleared the way for the government to take the property, but we found a car registered to Ross's husband still sitting in the driveway. We are also asking about this house in Burnsville, owned by former Feeding Our Future employee Abdikerm Idle. Do you know Mr. Idle? Right before being named in the first indictments in 2022, Amy Bach's right-hand man fled the country. Do you know where he is? That's the voice of Idle's ex-wife, according to a second person who spoke to me from behind the front door.
Ex-husband.
So yeah, y'all, looks like many of the fraudsters are still in control and possession of their ill-gotten gains. Now, is that any surprise, y'all? Is that any surprise? I mean, the Walz administration has been very slow to do anything about all of the fraud that has happened in Minnesota, even though, to their credit, they did try to stop the Feeding Our Future fraud, y'all. We have to acknowledge that. There have been many different frauds, but that one they did try to stop. It's just a judge, a Minnesota judge, actually blocked them from stopping the fraud. Believe it or not, we've covered that in previous videos. But for all of his trouble, Tim Walz, the almost vice president of the United States, first of all, can you imagine if he had been vice president and all of this was going to hit? All of this was going to hit regardless, and it was going to hit right now. So he could be the vice president of the United States and this could be hitting. And that would have been a huge distraction, wouldn't it? As it stands, he's the governor of Minnesota still, and he's under investigation at this point.
The House Oversight Committee demanding Minnesota Governor Tim Walz hand over documents as we learn new details about the investigation into the $1 billion welfare fraud scandal. And new reports claiming Democratic Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has deep ties to people who personally profited from the alleged fraud. That list includes one of her former campaign officials and a co-owner of the restaurant where Omar held her 2018 congressional victory party. It is important to note the Congresswoman has not been directly linked to the fraud herself. Joining us now is the Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives, Lisa DeMuth, who joins me now. And Lisa, thank you so much for doing just that. $1 billion in taxpayer dollars essentially lit on fire. What is your reaction to this staggering fraud scandal that has rocked your state?
For the last 7 years, we have looked at fraud that has exploded under Governor Tim Walz in autism services. Feeding Our Future, the food scandal during the COVID time, is the largest COVID food scandal, taxpayer money waste in the nation. And we've been sounding the alarm over the years. We're finally getting that national attention that we need so much here in our state to have full investigations. But you're right. It's over $1 billion in taxpayer dollars that have gone out to fraud instead of going to the people that needed those services the most.
So yeah, y'all, we covered that also in a previous video, that somebody really close to your girl, Ilhan Omar, was caught up in the Feeding Our Future scam and went down due to that. And also the fact that Ilhan herself promoted the scam. In almost every video that we've done about this, we have video of her promoting the scam, acting like she's feeding people, where you see her preparing food or scooping some food on some plates, but you just don't see any people. You definitely don't see any future, okay? But it looks like, I don't know, was this one of those things where every Minnesota politician wanted to get involved? Even the Attorney General Ellison got himself involved in this, y'all. He's on tape saying he's going to help these people, though he does say at the time he didn't know it was a massive $1 billion fraud.
Minnesota Republicans are demanding answers from the state's top prosecutor. Their questions come after newly obtained audio of a meeting between Keith Ellison and some business owners who were later convicted in the Feeding Our Future fraud. In that recorded meeting, the Attorney General can be heard pledging to help any way he could. WCCO's Adam Duxter breaks it all down and explains what the AG's office is saying.
As the convicted ringleader of the nation's largest pandemic fraud case waits to be sentenced in federal court, Amy Bach's attorney is still working.
She had a habit of just recording for records.
Kenneth Udobach says one recording in particular.
It would show that the Attorney General's office was aware of the contentious relationship between Feeding the Future, Ms. Bach, and MDE.
Of a December 2021 meeting with Attorney General Keith Ellison is drawing new scrutiny when several people now convicted in the Feeding Our Future scandal came to him saying they were part of a small business organization and asked for help.
I'm very concerned about it. I don't run the agencies. Absolutely. But let me just finish by saying, but often the agencies call on my lawyers to represent them. When you tell me, hey, this is a problem, I call somebody and say, what's going on?
Weeks later, FBI agents raided Feeding Our Future's office and the investigation went public. Ellison's office contends he wasn't briefed by the FBI about the extent of their probe. And in a statement, Ellison's office says it's a shame that fraudsters tried to exploit his good faith, but say nothing came from the meeting.
So yeah, y'all, I think that this is far from over. Even Tim Walz himself said that he believes that there will be additional fraud scams uncovered. All right, so he's already hinted at that. And he's the governor of the state. He's trying to be governor again for the third time. We'll see what happens, y'all. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think that this takes Tim Walz down? Do you think he can he win re-election with all of this hanging over his head? Let me know what you think down in the comments, y'all. Drop a comment below, but before you do, please stop, hit the share button. Share this video out over email, text message, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all your favorite social mediums. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, please do subscribe. Thank y'all for watching. Love y'all, and we'll see you back in the next one.